Hello everyone and welcome back for the conclusion of the opening round of our second feature card. We're at Fountain Hills Disc Golf Course. All Ulibarri on the card. We also have Anthony Barela coming off of his first Disc Golf Pro Tour win last weekend. World champion and two-time major winner last year, Isaac Robinson. And Gannon Buhr, he's got a major 2 under his belt. Also defending champion of this event from 2023. Kicking things off at Fountain Hills days 1 and 2. We'll head over to Vista for days 3 and 4. Haven't seen too many fireworks so far on this first card, so we'll see if they can get something going here on the back. Very different style of golf. You have a lot less water to contend with. Still OB and other things to worry about, but less water overall. And hole number 10, 310 feet. You just have that one tree on the right side that you have to deal with. This one goes slightly uphill, finishing off to the right. We're also at the farthest point out on the course. When you're at 10's basket, that's as long of a walk as you can get to get back to hole number 1. Buhr just deep of the pin. Gannon goes 4 under through the front 9, as does Isaac Robinson. Spoiler alert, you saw a 6 under by Alden Harris on the front 9. Not only did you see that on the coverage, that happened to be the hottest front 9 of all competitors. So that mark has been set. Uli dropping a dime right next to the basket. That's going to be a tap-in birdie. Uli will push to 4 under with that. There could have been worse reactions off that tree. Instead, it kicks them out into the open. Everyone inside 18 feet for birdie looks. Hole 10 has certainly evolved throughout the years. I love how it's looking and playing now. Looks like these guys are loving it as well. Playing as the 6th easiest hole on the course. 2.61. If you need to ship any discs, I got you. My Disc in a Box is your perfect shipping solution. It can be folded to either fit 1 disc or sometimes 2 or 3 depending on the size of the disc, and I'll save you on shipping. I have those manufactured. Just reach out to me or look for a link in the description, but happy to help you out. As we see 11 dead straight, 368 feet, the slightest of incline, maybe just by a foot or 2. But it's deceptive because first it goes downhill. Buhr, near bullseye hit. We saw how easy Gannon made it look with that forehand, and I think that's the play if you have it. Robinson's not putting a 400-foot forehand out there, going with the backhand that leaks to the left. Uli's going to try and shape something here. And that also is tracking left. That looks sawed off. High right side. This can be part of the danger zone. I don't know if you'd consider it the highway to the danger zone if you're old enough to get that reference. That's not fair. And that cutout area, the landscaping around there is out of bounds. He checks up short of it, so now he'll have this left for par. at least once a weekend we see that on coverage, and it's always heartbreaking. Uli there, picking one up inside the circle. Speaking of weekends in this event, after doing some math, I think this is the 19th Memorial I've been to in the last 20 years. Started off coming here in 2005, and I had proposed to the PDGA that I run AM Worlds in 2007 in Wisconsin. They approved it. I was the TD. Every year since, except for 2011. I had a daughter born in March of 2011. At least that's what I've been told. All right, hole 12, downhill, 293 feet. Probably plays closer to 260, maybe even 250. Lots of options depending on how high or wide you want to take the shot. We see a low line drive. We see a medium height. We also see the high wide right. This is like a medium wide right. And just the right amount of pace. A little bit higher for Uli. Won't be mad at that. It's no secret, 12 and 13 play as the two easiest holes on the course. This is the easiest. The next hole just marginally more difficult. I gotta admit, I held my breath for a moment there. Looked like Isaac was about to tag the one tree on the right side. Buhr's going to keep things rolling. He'll move to 7 under. Gentle breeze. Uli's got this. Speaking of those times that I've come to play at this event, I can't imagine anyone else has more rounds on this course than Uli. Out of all of our competitors, that is. I have to dig into some record books I don't keep. "13, back up the hill. Not quite parallel to hole number 12, but in that similar range. Going underneath the branches. And then just a matter of where do you come to rest on this little knoll here. Elevated basket just to add some difficulty. Maybe as Philo would say, a little texture. I don't know if he's patented that, trademarked that. Uli gets it to sit down.
Spiked.
Gannon with the best chance to make some magic here as he's sitting out in front of the rest of the card. Typically see numbers in the 11, 12, 13 range. 14s and 15s certainly get shot out here during the first couple rounds, but you need that double digits. Oh, you do not need an accelerator off the top of the basket. Wow. I try to reserve my wows to only maybe one a round, and this was deserving. Look how far past he went. Very similar to what you guys saw with Alden Harris in our other feature card. Almost the exact same position and then goes deep. Doesn't make the comebacker. Meanwhile, AB wants to pick up the rest of them if he can. He's sitting only at 3 under right now. Gorgeous Thursday afternoon. Hoping for more of the same during Friday's event round, and then also Saturday and Sunday shaping up to look pretty nice out at Vista. There was a threat of some rain coming through, but it looks like it may hold off. We're going to see Robinson and he'll move to 6 under, so just 1 off the pace of what we see by Uli and Buhr. But Buhr is going to give one back in probably the most unlikely of places. This is the second easiest hole on the course. And you think about all of the dozens of places you could go out of bounds on tees or approaches. So to see a bogey here stings a little bit more. We head over to 14, 375 downhill. Most often, this is going to be a righty backhand throw off the tee. And it's going to nestle up underneath. So not necessarily the route that we just saw from the drone. Usually you're going to see it played more out to the right side and have it skip or filter to the left. Wanted to hit the top of the hill. Not quite. If it's coming in that flat, you need to hit the top of the hill and then just plan for the skip. Kind of what we're seeing here, but he hits almost the exact same spot. You need that 5 feet left, and then it's going to likely accelerate and flare off to the left side. Okay, maybe accelerate's not the official term. I know we say that all the time. I don't think it actually accelerates. Does he have the angle? Not quite. You can bring those trees and that utility box into play. Does Buhr have it dialed? Seemingly he does. We'll see if that branch comes into play. It's tough enough to have the line, but then to get that close and not convert in terms of lining up with that basket. Uli, kind of an awkward stance, again dealing with the tree. And AB is going to be faced with, well, it looks like he's got more space to the left here. It's crazy just what 2 or 3 feet can do on this particular hole. I think that can be said back on hole number 11 as well. All right, all right. AB trying to get something going. He's 4 under. It is not uncommon to see players go 7 for 9, 8 for 9, sometimes even 9 for 9 on the back. Very different approach than what you have out there on the front. We can't wait for all the wind, Buhr. All right, that's the 30-second siren. And Buhr converts eventually. If you're wondering, hey, where's your co-commentator or any one of them? I'm hoping to have them, but sometimes if the timing works out that the video would otherwise get pushed back because we're waiting on some of our competitors, or they're just too far away from me and the timing doesn't align because I'm done editing at 3 or 4 in the morning. That's why I'm going it alone right now. Big shout out to the distinguished doodle. Also big, huge thanks to Aaron Gossage for joining me during the other round of coverage. First time on the channel. Great insight, really great perspective in the way he breaks things down. He and a number of other players I'd love to continue to welcome back into the booth anytime it aligns in terms of the overall timing for releases here. Barela's releases just feel like they're too high. Maybe he's used to playing with some of that elevation from last weekend at the Olympus course, but it feels like almost all of his misfires have been just too much nose or too much angle. Nose angle. Maybe that's what I'm going for. That includes a couple of forehands. That includes a couple of backhands as I briefly reflect back on the round. Uli out and around. He'll still have a long look, assuming he's squared up to the pin. Doesn't get much more direct than that. Seeing and feeling more of that wind. As Uli's going to have about a 36, maybe 37 footer. This the official birdie song? If so, Uli didn't download it. Buhr, also from Circle 2. Plays just about in the middle in terms of overall difficulty. Averaged 2.92 on the day. When it was all said and done, out of the 103 competitors, we saw 18 birdies, one of them being Robinson. A less than enthusiastic group. As we move on to the next one. Big thanks to our friends at Six Sided Disc. They're working on their YouTube channel, have a ton of content out there. Make sure you go out and check them out. As they say, and I can attest, they're professional, scientific, thoughtful. They do a whole bunch of things, and it's just awesome to see more and more growth in the disc golf content community. Obviously, all of their stuff can be downloaded via podcasts on any podcast app. And you can also find them right here on the YouTubes. Speaking of which, is this the weekend? Do I get there? Maybe that's the question. You just have to comment. First, like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. Do I get to 100K this weekend? I think as of this video, it was at 97 and change. Maybe we'll get there. If so, as soon as I hit 100,000, I'm going to go back 2 months. And if you were supporting me on Patreon 2 months ago or earlier, I'm going to end up sending you a free disc. You're going to get a custom disc made up. I'm just going to send you it for free, assuming you're at some paid level of Patreon 2 months prior to me hitting 100,000. So you can get on now and hope that it takes another 2 months, or don't. Just keep watching for free. You do you. AB moving to 5 under. No shock to hear that hole 16 is definitely playing as one of the easiest, in fact, the third easiest in the entire field. barely easier than 13, which was barely easier than 12. So 12, 13, and 16, the 3 easiest holes on the course, and obviously all in the back half. Oh, speaking of Patreon, links in the description, patreon.com/thediscgolfguy. Thank you. There's so much coverage that wouldn't happen. You guys often will say thank or recognize that there's some events that aren't on the Disc Golf Network or the Pro Tour. All of those events wouldn't get covered if it weren't for the support that I receive via Patreon. I'll just be perfectly blunt about it. It's because of you guys. So if you want more, you know what to do. Oh! Robinson trying to find out if there's an ace pool or not. AB launches it. Asking for it to swing left, and it does. We'll see just how close it finished, though. This one can be deceptive. Last year we had Gannon Buhr on the mic. Of course, we've had the likes of Parker Welk, Ricky Wysocki. I'll see if I can get some more of those guys as the week rolls on. Again, it just comes down to the timing. What's Uli working with? This is a much lower line drive as opposed to what we saw from AB. We'll see if that gets all the way there. The problem is when you come up on that short right side, the only 2 trees that are there are the ones you have to get around. Here's Robinson. Off the top. And this is exactly what I was talking about with Uli. How does he split it between the tree and the basket but not hit a link of chain? That would be 10 times harder to do as opposed to making it. Sun is about to set out here in Fountain Hills. Appreciate you guys for coming along for the ride. We've got FPO coverage as well. I know Jen Allen's going to be working on that commentary. She will continue to get the edited footage, and we're going to have a slightly delayed release on that. That'll shine a little more spotlight on it when all the other footage isn't coming out, so kind of giving everybody their time. And we'll see how the coverage unfolds. It won't necessarily be for sure 2 cards every day. We might mix things up, but you're for sure getting an FPO and an MPO lead card coverage coming at you, recorded every single day. Big shout out to our friends at the PDGA, as this is a PDGA A tier, and we conclude with 18 400 feet dead straight, iconically aced by Nico LaCastro a number of years ago, playing up against Paul Ulibarri. If you don't know that story, you need to go out and do just a little bit of research. And we've seen just some incredible battles and things unfold here on 18. Also saw Silas Schultz take down the Next Gen Tour a number of years ago right here. First he wants it to go, and then he wants it to sit. Gannon blurting out cusses left and right with a dang it. He'll take it. Man, if you were on this card and you were playing cribbage, what would you want, a 7 cut? Yeah, I think that'd be the best card you could get cut. 8-6, 8-9. So many of you are saying, what in the world are you talking about? Don't worry about it. For my cribbage peeps, you know what I mean. A few tunes to close us out here on 18. You guys see the transition sponsors. Six-sided disc stepped up big time here this weekend. Dietrich Creative Design, I appreciate you. Zing Mini, Distinguished Doodle. I don't even think I can name you all, but just thank you to all of you that are supporting. And if you're ever interested in supporting the channel and having either a transition screen or being a sponsor of some component of the round, feel free to reach out. All right, AB closes out as strong as he can. Remember, at one point he was 2 over, so he fights himself back to a 7 under, off the pace of where you really want to be, but he hasn't shot himself out of the tournament. None of these guys have with the numbers they're looking at right now. But they're going to have to come out second round and really get something going, especially if we're looking at calm conditions. Robinson have a connection left in him. Yes, he does. That's going to save the par for the world champ. Speaking of world champs, 2006, Tulsa, Am Worlds. Were you guys there? I was. So was this guy. Tapping in. That's going to do it, guys. That is your second featured card of the opening round of the 2024 Memorial Championship presented by Discraft. Huge shout out to the camera crew, the 3 guys that were helping, and also our friends over at the Fountain Hills Library where I set up and was able to get so much of our editing knocked out. Gossage out in front. You saw his round. You're going to see Castro and Curtis along with Buhr rounding it out for our lead card in round number 2 at the Memorial. We'll see you guys tomorrow.